Captain's log 12,900 and something or other. I'm here in a parallel universe. I don't know where I am, but I'm pretty sure that I'm on the planet Earth. I am recording this message to let you all know that I am doing okay. There appears to be a life form. I don't know what it is. Oh, wait. That's my cat. Never mind. You know, the sad part about this is that I don't even, know, man. I mean, it's just like, I'm just in there, I'm all like, whoa, man, and then they're like, whoa, man, and then I'm like, yeah, and then I'm like, what the hell, and then it's like, yeah, booster gold, bitch, and then I'm like, huh, and then they're like, Ted Cord, and then I'm like, huh, that was a good night. That was a very, very good night. As I recall, that night never ended. Or it felt like it did. It felt like that conversation raged on for 20 days and 20 nights. And it was then, in that moment, that I had to ask myself, what is the purpose of cupcakes and cheesecake? And then, it was the kind of moment, y'all. The kind of moment when nerds become men and men become nerds. And and that awesome things happen that no one gave a crap about except the nerds. And it was also in this moment that really bad things happened, but those bad things were not talked about, nor did they ever happen, because the nerds ruled. Now the one thing...
I'm back.
Ow.
Oh, sorry, Steve. I didn't realize I was so close to the computer. Coolio, are you there?
Nah, he went to bed, man.
Oh.
Also, you might want to smile a little bit, because apparently you're on candid camera now. I was doing my own monologue, but now that apparently you're here, you get to join into the random fun.
What, you're recording a camera thing right now?
I'm just Pamela call recording me saying random things to you, got back, and then you just leaped in out of nowhere like fucking Batman.
I'm Batman.
Shut up. I mean, I'm just sitting there, I'm having a Captain Kirk moment, I'm doing an internal monologue. All of a sudden, here you come. I'm like, what the fuck?
Oh, you were talking to somebody.
Hell no, I'm talking to myself. Me, myself, and I. Okay, that was bad. Anyway. What the hell?
Oh, you remember that? Don't you remember that video you made where you're going YouTube, the final frontier?
Oh no, yeah, I know what you're talking about now. It's like YouTube, the final frontier, to boldly go where no dumbass has gone before. Eh, do 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 do. Do do do. I don't even want to completely try to do that whole entire thing because I'm sure right now Mount Vernon Kid and everyone, when I finally loop this to video, it's going to be like, I'm going to kill Steve. Either that or everybody's going to be looking at me like, why? Why out of everything? Why in the holiest of holies did it have to be Mario?
Yep.
You know, since you're not going to be on Sunday, and I was going to actually ask this for everybody on Sunday, I figured, okay, this would make for an interesting conversational piece. What are two characters you want the most that you think DC should make a year one title for? Two characters. Ooh, Raporfest is actually may be able to join this call, so maybe I can ask him.
He's calling, apparently.
Ow. There we are. Now, gentlemen, I want to actually ask. I figure Ian, since you're not going to be here on Sunday and whatnot, and since Raporfest has a big schedule, I want to do this basically a collab with nearly everyone, just kind of getting everybody's thoughts. But if you had to pick two characters from the DC universe, two characters that you would really want to see get a year one miniseries, who would those two characters be?
Definitely Wonder Woman, because for all the times that they've been doing that they've been revamping Superman's origin constantly, they barely, if ever, do something regarding Wonder Woman's origin. They've explained what Flash's origin, what Green Lantern's new origin is, but they never do Wonder Woman. You're unsure, okay, what's in canon, what's not in canon. And so year one Wonder Woman miniseries would be so helpful into clearing what's not in canon and what is in canon of the Perez run and things like that, and what's added in.
What's the other character you would want to see?
The other character who I would like to see a year one kind of miniseries. That is kind of a difficult choice because a lot of the main DC characters like Green Lantern, Flash, Superman, or basically any character that Jeff Johns likes, has gotten a new secret origin or a new year one-esque kind of story. But it would be interesting to see some of the early years of characters like Aquaman. An Aquaman year one series would be interesting. I'll admit.
That is actually one that I was actually gonna name off, which is, I would kind of like to see them do a year one on Aquaman as well. I think it'd be kind of cool if they kind of re-explore the Silver Age origin, but then flush it out a little bit more, go into just a tad bit more detail.
But at the same time, I almost kind of feel that an Aquaman origin would be redundant because Peter David back in his run did Time and Tide. Then again, due to the countless retcons that have been happening of late with DC in the past 5 years or decade, I would think, there needs to be a new Aquaman year one, just like for Wonder Woman, to sort of understand what the hell is in canon and what's not in canon.
And also I think one that I would really love to see, and it should come as, and it should.
I'm sorry, Steve. Could I list mine?
Oh, you want to list yours real quick?
Yeah.
All right, that's fine.
My three that I would want to see.
Well, actually, it's two, not three.
Well, could I just put a third one? Would that be too much to ask?
Yeah, come on, let him say a third one.
Well, all right. I'm not going to sit here and be a d-bag about it. all right, fine. You can,
All right.
if it's one that you really want.
The first one is the Spectre. I think it would be really awesome to see how Jim Corrigan becomes the Spectre.
Not even like how Jim Gordon became the Spectre, but like it would be interesting to have a series detailing the Spectre's origin in general.
Another book I would love to see is Jonah Hex, because I think people's ideas about Jonah Hex are way too corrupted due to the god awful movie. So I think a Jonah Hex origin story done right would be just what the Doctor ordered. And the last one I want to mention is Hawk and Dove.
Okay, that was one that I never actually thought of myself. That could actually work out pretty interestingly. But I think another one that like the second one, if I had to pick out of my top two, I would actually definitely go with Billy Batson. I think that it would be kind of cool to focus on the beginning years of Billy Batson as Captain Marvel, because it's like what? It's like he debuted in the Golden Age. It's like I think it's about time that we kind of slightly kind of revamp his origins or kind of reintroduce people to how he was traveled to the Wizard and how he got his powers and whatnot. And
Yeah,
I think
and that kind of falls into the category on what's canon and what's not in canon, because I remember Jerry Orway back in his run for Power of Shazam kind of did what you're saying, like modernizing Billy Batson's origin, but still like in today's world, which is completely different than it was during the 90s, and also considering the countless and constant retconning that a lot of DC writers and editors are doing, a Captain Marvel Year One would be a good idea, not only for what you said of detailing what would Captain Marvel's early years be like, but also to give an understanding on what's canon and what's not in canon.
And plus, on top of that, I think looking at least how decent the DC animated crew did, the Return of Black Adam, that deal between him and Superman, it's like that was actually that was a pretty decent way to kind of introduce Billy Batson becoming Captain Marvel, and that's I think what kind of sparked that Year One idea for me.
Yeah, like I generally really like the animation for the Return of Black Adam, though I had minor quips, not with the story, but more with like the dialogue at times. You there?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm here.
What you doing back there?
Hello. I'm just sitting here talking with my friend Joseph.
Oh, okay.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah,
but
hanging out at my house doing schoolwork.
Yeah, I mean but
I'm still on break.
But I mean, it's like there's countless characters that you could do a Year One revamp for, but it's just I look at it in this respect. It's like the couple that are not within my top two that I would really love to see. Vic Sage. I think it would definitely be, of course, cool to also kind of modernize how Vic Sage became the Question, and definitely have like a training sequence with Richard Dragon. That would definitely be mandatory if I were to do a Year One deal, because I think that I think you could add noir elements to Vic Sage's Question origins, his Year One book, but yet you could make enough of it to where it's not like completely old school. But then again, I don't know. It's kind of a toss-up.
I think him having a more noir kind of feeling to his origin would kind of make it so it's much less of, oh, he's just another Batman, only he wears a trench coat.
I think, yeah, I mean, you could play like the old
because,
detective stories.
Yeah, like a lot of those old pulp detective stories from like the 30s and 40s.
And also, let's see, another character that I was thinking about. One character, and this may be me going out on a limb, but Slade Wilson. I think a Deathstroke Year One would be certainly.
Dude, the Deathstroke Year One would be sick.
Yeah, and it's funny because with all the exposure that Deathstroke is getting, you barely know what his early years or even his origin was like. His origin, from what I got, was almost like just like a throwaway, 2 pages, only just 2 pages, and that was it. It was like,
yeah.
oh, he was a government experiment.
Wasn't that that was like in the Judas contracts, right?
Sometime during the Prez and Marv Wolfman run, but it was just so throwaway. It was just like, oh, he was once a government experiment. Let's move on. He has another evil kid.
Yeah, I think that if they did like an origin for Slade and characterize him the right way, I think his origins would be very, very good. I think he's an awesome villain. I think he deserves a decent origin story.
Let's see, another character for year 1 that I was tossing around, and this mainly comes from the fact that he is, pretty much neck and neck with Jefferson Pierce, but it's like Firestorm. I think a Firestorm year 1 would also be pretty cool. Like, kind of re-explain.
Because they haven't touched his origin in since the 70s when he was first introduced.
Yeah,
with the afro. And the
not even but also I'm actually kind of glad he's one of the few redesigns that I actually like in the new DC reboot, because I've always hated Firestorm's costume because it looked so fucking dated. That looks so early 80s. Well, then again, at least it doesn't look as disgusting as Max Mercury's costume. Ugh.
Dude,
I mean,
it may just be me, but I never really cared about how dated or how out of fashion something looks.
There's some costumes, for example, Superman's, Wonder Woman's, Batman's. Those are timeless. But some costumes, for example, some of the early costume designs for the JLI. Oh God, Power Girl having basically a bib.
I will say that I do prefer the hooded the Green Arrow with the hood as opposed to the little bitty hat he wears.
Yeah, it depends on how it's drawn at the end of the day, but there's some costumes, no matter how good you draw it, it looks fucking ridiculous. One costume who I can't stand is Max Mercury's. Oh God, do I hate his costume.
Justice Society?
No, Max Mercury, the guy who trained Impulse.
I'm trying to think here, because it's a couple of other characters. One character that they never really touch upon that I really love, and I think that he's a great character, at least power-wise. And I think it'd also be kind of great to kind of retouch his origins. But then again, I think they've also got a book out that maybe already does that. But Metamorpho, the Element Man.
I think he's already gotten a year 1. He's already gotten a year 1. But
okay.
Another one character who I just thought of since I mentioned her, that's never really gotten that much of a definite origin. Her origin is so close to being almost Donna Troy-esque confusing, is Power Girl's. Power Girl never has really gotten a really definite kind of year 1, this is her beginning her career kind of story.
Hey, Raporfest.
Yeah.
I don't mean to interrupt you. This is off topic, but what exactly is your picture of? I'm just wondering.
Oh, my picture? It's the I Like Toffee Apples guy from Cry for Justice.
Oh.
Huh?
Do you remember, when I was doing those Let's Read Cry for Justice?
Of course, nobody will be able to see this.
Oh yeah, I remember.
And there's that line where Prometheus is like, "So, what do you say, Quimby?" And then he turns to the guy, and the guy says, "I like toffee apples." Oh, God.
Okay,
sorry,
you guys are getting just
headphones.
That was just completely off topic, but...
Yeah, I know. I was the one who asked it, though.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of you watching this video right now are like, what the hell? Just ignore the random...
hell, you're still recording this?
What do you think I am doing over here?
But like going back to the year ones, I was afraid to say this, but considering how fucking obscure this character is, I would kind of like a year one, or sort of get into what his adventures were like before he died, or what it was like between the time he was introduced and between the time he died. I know no one's gonna know who the hell he is, but Bushido.
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah, I know who Bushido is.
That would actually be a very interesting one.
Because, like, I would like to, like, detailing his, like, kind of, because one of the things that I loved about him was he wasn't the stereotypical ninja character. Like, he had this arc that they were going to do with Titans LA, but they never got to because Titans LA was canceled.
Yeah.
But, like, they were going to do this arc where, like, of him trying to learn the ways of peace and him trying to learn that there's another way besides killing.
Yeah, him or Katana.
Yeah, that could definitely work. I mean, it's near infinite, guys, but unfortunately the clock is ticking down with the last few seconds. I'm really glad that both of you actually wanted to take the time to actually, at least for a brief moment, discuss kind of characters that you would love to see, and just throwing around all the ideas for characters that would get their own year one series. But you know, that's unfortunately, guys, that's it. You know,